Om. 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 Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadrusham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum tam namami Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Vande Guru Paramparam Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Chaiva Tato Jayamudirayet Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayete Girim Yet Krupatamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramopanisadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yoginaha Yashantam Navidusura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha.
Savita ji, can you start you can chant the first 15 shlokas?
First 15 shlokas.
Yeah, first 15.
Okay. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Srimad Bhagavad Gita Atha Trityodhyayah. Arjuna Uvacha. Jayasi Chet Karmanaste Mata Buddhirjanardana Tatking Karmani Ghore Mam Niyojayasi Keshava Vyami Shrenev Vakyena Buddhim Mohayasiva Me Tadekam Vadanishchitya Yena Shreyo Hamapnuyam Shri Bhagwan Uvacha Lokesmin Dividha Nishtha Pura Prokta Maya Naga Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam Karma Yogena Yoginam Na Karmanam Anarambhan Naishkarmyam Purushoshnute Na Cha Sannyasanadeva Siddhim Samadikachati Nahi Kaschit Kshanamapi Jatu Tishtatya Karma Krit Karyate Yavashah Karma Sarva Prakriti Jail Gunaihi Karmendriyani Sanyamya Ya Aste Manasa Smaran Indriyarthan Vimudhatma Mithyacharasa Uchyate Yastvin Indriyani Manasa नियम्यारभतेऽर्जुन कर्मेन्द्रियैः कर्मयोगम् असक्तः स विशिष्यते नियतं कुरु कर्म त्वं कर्म ज्यायो ह्यकर्मणः शरीरयात्रापि च ते न प्रसिद्ध्येद कर्मणः यज् यज्ञार्थ sorry यज्ञार्थकर्मणोऽन्यत्र लोकोऽयं कर्म बन्धनः तदर्थं कर्म कौन्तेय मुक्तसङ्गः समाचर सह यज्ञः प्रजा सृष्ट्वा पुरोवाच प्रजापतिः अनेन प्रसविष्यध्वम् एष वोस्त्विष्टकामधुक् देवान् भावयतानेन ते देवा भावयन्तु वः परस्परं भावयन्तः श्रेयः परमवाप्स्यथ इष्टान् भोगान् हि वो देवा दास्यन्ते यज्ञभाविताः तैर्दत्तान् तैर्दत्तान् प्रदायैभ्यो यो भुङ्क्ते तेन एव सः यज्ञशिष्टाशिनः सन्तो मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषैः भुञ्जते ते त्वगं पापा ये पचन्त्यात्मकारणात् अन्नाद् भवन्ति भूतानि पर्जन्यादन्न संभवः यज्ञाद् भवति पर्जन्यो यज्ञकर्म समुद्भवः कर्म ब्रह्मोद्भवं विद्धि ब्रह्मक्षरसमुद्भवम् तस्मात् सर्वगतं ब्रह्म नित्यं यज्ञे प्रतिष्ठितम् Till 15 I have to decide.
Yeah.
I will continue.
Okay.
15 to 30.
Thank you.
एवं प्रवर्तितं चक्रं नानुवर्तयति हयः अघायुरिन्द्रिया रामो मोघं पार्थ स जीवति यस्त्वात्मरतिरेव स्यात् आत्मतृप्तश्च मानवः आत्मन्येव च सन्तुष्टः तस्य कार्यं न विद्यते नैव तस्य कृतेनार्थो नाकृतेनेह कश्चन न चास्य सर्वभूतेषु कश्चिदर्थव्यपाश्रयः तस्मादसक्तः सततं कार्यं कर्म समाचर असक्तो ह्याचरन् कर्म परमाप्नोति पूरुषः कर्मणैव हि संसिद्धिम् आस्थिता जनकादयः लोकसङ्ग्रहमेवापि सम्पश्यन् कर्तुमर्हसि यद्यदाचरति श्रेष्ठः तत्तदेवेतरो जनः स यत् प्रमाणं कुरुते लोकस्तदनुवर्तते न मे पार्थास्ति कर्तव्यं त्रिषु लोकेषु किंचन नानवाप्तमवाप्तव्यं वर्त एव च कर्मणि यदि ह्यहं न वर्तेयं जातु कर्मण्यतन्द्रितः मम वर्त्मानुवर्तन्ते मनुष्याः पार्थ सर्वशः उत्सीदेयुरिमे लोकान् न कुर्यान् कर्म चेदहं शङ्करस्य च कर्ता स्यात् मुपहन्यामि माः प्रजाः सक्ताः कर्मण्य विद्वांसो यथा कुर्वन्ति भारत कुर्याद् विद्वांस्तथा सक्तः चिकीर्षिर्लोकसङ्ग्रहम् न बुद्धिभेदं जनयेत् अज्ञानां कर्मसङ्गिनां जोषयेत् सर्वकर्माणि विद्वान् युक्तः समाचरन् प्रकृतेः क्रियमाणानि गुणैः कर्माणि सर्वशः अहङ्कारविमूढात्मा कर्ताहमिति मन्यते तत्त्ववित्तु महाबाहो गुणकर्म विभागयोः गुणागुणेषु वर्तन्त इति मत्वा न सज्जते प्रकृतेर्गुणसम्मूढाः सज्जन्ते गुणकर्मसु तान् कृत्स्नविधो मन्दान् कृत्स्नविन्न विचालयेत् मयि सर्वाणि कर्माणि सन्न्यस्याध्यात्मचेतसा निराशीर्निर्ममो भूत्वा युध्यस्व विगतज्वरः.
Good. Very nicely chanted, both of you. Now, can you get back to the 19th verse? Yeah. Tasmadasakta satatam karyam karma samachara asakto hyacharan karma param apnoti purushaha. Earlier, Brahmara, you were asking that yogasta kuru karmani sangam chaktva dhananjaya. That would better be covered again. This is one verse which clearly says, Tasmad asakta satatam karyam karma samachara asakto hi acharan karma param apnoti purushaha. That tasmat must be read in the light of the earlier 2-3 verses. Can you go to 16th verse? Yeah. Yeah. Evam pravartitam chakram na anuvartayati hayah aghayuhu indriyaramaha mogham partha sajevati. He wastefully lives. Okay? He is of no use to himself or to the society. Next verse, 17th. That Tasmat has a relevance to all these verses. 17th verse. Yeah. Yastvatmaratirev syat atmatruptasya manavaha atmanyeva cha santushtaha tasya karyam na vidyate. Here, a wise man is being talked of. And how he became wise? Through karma yoga anushthanena. Yasmatvaratirev syat atmatruptasya manavaha atmanyeva cha santushtaha tasya karyam na vidyate. There is nothing for him to do. Tasya karyam na vidyate means tasya vedokta karyam mihita karma na vidyate. But he will be keeping on acting. He will be keeping on acting because of what? Sharira yatra pichate na prasidhyeda karmanaha. Earlier verse. Now, 18th verse. Yasmatvaratirev syat atmatruptasya manavaha. Naiva tasya krutena addaha na akrute neha kasyana na chasya sarvabhuteshu kaschid ardhavyapashrayaha. Naiva tasya krutena ardaha. There is no prayojanam for him by doing anything. Na akrute neha kasyana. By not doing, he is not as though losing anything. Na chasya sarvabhuteshu kaschid ardhavyapashrayaha. He has no craving for some input from anybody. Nachasya sarvabhuteshu kaschit ardhavyapashrayaha. And that is the jnani. Won't you like to be the jnani? If you would like to be the jnani, yogasta kuru karmane sangam chaktva dhananjaya siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Tasmad asakta satatam Karyam karma samachara. What is required to be done by you? Karyam karma. Karyam karma means Shastra Vihita Karyam. That karma, samachara, beautifully you do, very efficiently you do, to the best of your knowledge, skill, efficiency, and capacity you do. Tasmad asakta satatam. And do that without any attachment. Asakto hi acharan karma. Without any attachment, if you do act during the execution of the karma, asakto hyacharan karma, param apnoti purushaha, will attain the supreme. Tasmad asakta satatam. This is the verse which I was looking for to answer Brahmara. Brahmara, yesterday you asked another question, something connected with Yamimam, Pushpitam, Vacham. Can you please repeat that? I wonder whether we have covered in the answer your question correctly.
No, in the previous verses, when he says Purovacha Prajapatihi Yajna Shishta Shinashanto, so he's been asking people to follow Yajna, sacrifice, Niyata Karma, you have to keep following. So that was, it seemed like it was in variance with the Yamimam Pushpitam Vacham. The shlokas where Bhagwan himself had said, the people who use all this only for worldly ends to satisfy their desires.
Your audio is very low, Brahmara.
Sorry. My volume is low. Yeah, sorry. So these shlokas seem to be in variance with the second chapter shlokas, the Yamimam Pushpitam Vacham.
No. See, Prajapati, what did he say? Sahayajnaha praja sruštva purovacha prajapatihi. Anena prasavishyadvam eshavos tvishta kamadak. Okay? You will have your desires fulfilled through this kamadhenu of yajnam and yagam. Right? Earlier, Bhagavan in the second chapter, what did he say? Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadanchi avipaschitaha vedavadarataha partha na anyad asti iti vadinaha. That is the problem. Na anyad asti iti vadinaha. Kamatmanaha swargaparaha swargamyeva paraha. That is the most supreme. There is no end to be reached beyond gaining swargam. Kamatmanaha swargaparaha janma karma phala pradam. And you do this yajna, you do that yaga, you will get a better janma, you will get a lot of wealth, you will go here, you will go there. That is what was mentioned by Bhagavan as inappropriate. After some time, initially, Esha was twista kamadhaku, like Prajapati said, initially yes. But you, after you have graduated from Brahmacharya ashrama to come to the Gruhastha ashrama, and as a Gruhastha, for some time you cater to your yajna yaga needs and things like that, and that kamadhaku, okay. But how long? Wouldn't you like to know who you are, how you are, what you are, how did you come? Would you like to be tossed by sukha, dukkha all the time? Or you want to be sukhi all the time? So that is the burden of Bhagavan's that yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadanti avipaschitaha. He was only goading Arjuna to do all kinds of activities with karma yoga bhavana. Tasmad asakta satatam karyam karma samachara. Asakto hyacharan karma param apnoti purushaha. Right?
Yes, Nana.
Is that okay for you?
Yes.
Right. Now, 20th verse is Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim astita janakadayah loka sangrahamevapi sampasyan kartum arhasi. Loka sangrahamevapi, for the benefit and for the hita and for the protection of the loka at least. Sampasyan kartum arhasi. If you clearly see, sampasyan means samyak pasyan. If you clearly see, kartum arhasi, you will have to do. You will have to do what? Karma yoga anusthana. Karmanaivahi samsiddhim astita janakadayah. See, the burden of this first line is janakadayah. They were already jnanis, but they were, due to their prarabdha, they were forced to be in the midst of activity. Janaka was the emperor of Mithila, and being the king or emperor of Mithila, you will have a lot of duties, a lot of duties. The Sainyadipati comes and says, hey, Maharaj, the southern king is amassing his troops against us. What do we do? That's he has to give an answer. Though a jnani, he has to be in the midst of intense activity. And that intense activity, karma yoga, bhavanena, he has done. And somebody else will say, hey, our granary is getting empty because we have been fighting a lot of forces on the northern side. Now on the southern side, somebody else is amassing against us. What do we do? So he has to find an answer. Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim. Through these kind of karmas, samsiddhi is moksha. Astita janakadaya. They have gained moksha, and as a moksha purusha, for the loka sangraharardham, they have gone on being amidst a lot of activity for the protection of the kingdom, the protection of the people of the kingdom. They have adopted the karma yoga anusthana. Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim astita janakadayah lokasangrahamevapi sampasyan kartumarhasi. Now next verse is beautiful. I think next verse was pointed out in some context by Brahmara earlier. I don't remember the context. Ejyadacharate sreshtaha tattadevetaro janaha sahayat pramanam kurute lokas sadanu vartate. Yet acharate sreshtaha. Sreshtaha means sreshta purushaha, a person who is a kind of a leader. Okay, Sreshta Purushaha, Yad Acharati, whatever he conducts himself in, whatever he does. Sreshta Purushaha, Tat Eva Itaro Janaha, Tat Eva Itaro Janaha. The other people, they will follow only this. Sahayat Pramanam Kurute, this Sreshta Purushaha, Saha, that Sreshta Purushaha, yet whatever, Pramanam Kurute, whatever he considers as the standard for conduct, okay, as the standard for dharmika conduct, and as something to be always practiced, Sahayat Pramanam Kurute, whatever. Lokaha means not the words here. Lokaha means loke janaha. Lokaha tadanu vartate. People follow whatever that Sreshta Purushaha has done. Why Bhagavan is saying all this? Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim astita janakadayaha. That was one. Ejyadacharate sreshtaha. This is another. Why is he telling Arjuna these kind of verses? Why is he telling? To make him understand he is not an ordinary person. He may not have become a king, but he is a great prince. Janakadayaha, karmanaiva hi samsiddhim. That kind of a thing. When Janaka, etc., they have held Karma Yoga Anushtana in very high esteem. What of you, Arjuna? Why don't you get into this practice? What is this sannyasa and all that you are thinking of? Bhakshamapi hialoke. It is easily said than practiced. You are not qualified for that yet. You have not got the requisite arhata, the requisite qualification for that. Because the requisite qualification is what? Shamadamadi Shat Sampattihi in the largest possible measure. Viragaha is required. Titiksha is required. Shama is required. Mastery of the mind. Dama required. Okay? Uparama, all these things in not, evanescent measure, in the strongest possible measure, if you have acquired, then you would perhaps become a fit person for sannyasa. Till then, understand, even kings like Janaka, etc., they have discharged their duties beautifully, and they were moksha purushas. And you are not an ordinary being. You are a very great leader. Everybody is looking at you to be led by you, and you are in such a very unenviable condition. You are the base on which the entire Pandava army is being raised, and you are the basis for any thought of victory by Yudhishthira. You and Bhimasena are the leaders, and you are a Sreshta Purushaha. Indirectly, he is telling, Yad Acharati Sreshtaha, Tat Eva, Itaro Janaha, Sahayat Pramanam Kurute, Lokaha, Tat Anuvartate. For whatever a great man does, that very thing other men also do. Whatever standard he sets up, the generality of men follow the same. Name pardhastya kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam vartayeva cha karmani. Now Krishna is telling about himself. Look at me, Arjuna. Name pardhastya kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana. Nothing is there for me to accomplish. Name pardha asti kartavyam. There is nothing for me. Kartavyam is what? Shastra vihita karma kartavyam. That kind of a thing. That kartavyam. There is nothing for me in the three lokas. Name pardha kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana. Nothing is there. Na anavaptam. Na anavaptam. That is whatever which is very desirable, and I have not yet got, that kind of a thing is not there. Na anavaptavyam, avaptavyam, what is to be obtained, none of those things is there for me. Nanavaptam, avaptavyam, vartayeva cha karmani. In spite of this, I will keep on conducting myself in action only, not in bhikshatana. You asked me to teach you. I am your teacher. And you said, Shishyasteham Shadimam Tvam Prapannam. You are surrendering to me. When you have surrendered, you understand what I as a guru has been doing. Name Pardhastya Kartavyam Trishu Lokeshu Kinchana. Sorry. Nanavaptam avaptavyam vartayeva cha karmane. I keep on being very active in spite of the fact that I need not do anything, not even for any loka. There is nothing which I have not obtained, and there is nothing obtainable for me. Nanavaptam avaptavyam vartayevacha karmane. Arjuna, there is no duty in all the three worlds for me. Nor is there anything worth attaining, unattained by me. Yet I continue to work. Why? Why I continue to work? Because people look at you as a leader. They are looking at me also as a leader. If I do not, as a leader, do things properly, what happens? Earlier verse is what? Idyat acharate sreshtaha. The sreshtaha is the leader. Idyat acharate sreshtaha tattadeve taro janaha sahayat pramanam kurute lokaha tad anuvartate. The people will simply like sheep follow the leader. The leader must be really good and must be attentive all the time for the benefit of Loka Sangrahamevapi. Janakadayaha, that Loka Sangrahamevapi has come, no? For the benefit of the Loka, for the benefit of the Loka, for protecting the Loka from falling into bad ways. That is it. Loka Sangrahamevapi sampasyan tattumarhasi. Yeah.
The context in which I had asked this question this year.
Audio, please. Audio low.
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes. This was, I think, in context with when we were talking of Vyavasayatmika Buddhihi. Decide what all Nitya Karmas to continue to do. You had said each one of us has to decide what you want to do and stick to it. In that context, I had mentioned if we give up doing things like pujas and all that, then are we not responsible for the future generation to follow? And it was that context that if we all give up doing all of this, then how will the future generation continue the tradition? So it was in that context that it was there was a question.
But the point is, it is for you as an individual, you will have to pick and choose what you want. You want to be the Sreshta Purushaha for all others to follow, and you want to be the protector of the traditions, okay? Protector of the Vedic Dharma, all these things, or you are interested in developing yourself into a fit person for Jnana Yoga, and subsequently rediscovering yourself as to who you are. That Atma Darshana. We are talking so much about mumukshutvam. What is that mumukshutvam? If these things are absent, if these things have taken a back seat, your desire to be there, your desire for Atma Darshana must tell you that there are plenty of others who are going to be the protectors of the traditions, the Vedika Dharma, and I should not get stuck here. It is your individual decision. There are organizations who can do it and who have been doing it. You are not an organization, you are a self. And you are a self, keen on self-knowledge. Self-knowledge will not come unless you put in the required self-effort. Adequate self-effort, unless you put in, you cannot gain self-knowledge. In spite of...
Sorry, I had a question, but you continue, sorry. I have a question, can I ask?
Yeah, yes, please.
Yes, what I'm saying is, Krishna is telling through Karma Yoga, he is giving his example also, and through Karma Yoga, is the right way. Like, even moksha can be attained through karma yoga. But then why somebody would take jnana yoga? Because Krishna is telling himself to follow that path. Then why somebody who should become sannyasi? They should always be karma yogi, because they can attain moksha through karma yoga also, right?
No, madam, you have not followed Bhagavan Krishna's teaching adequately. What Bhagavan Krishna was saying is, karma yoga you follow. Okay? Yogasta kuru karmani sangam chektva dhananjaya sijya asijyo samo bhutva samatvam yogaha uchyate. Samatvam karma yogaha uchyate. With that kind of a samatva bhavana, what are you doing? You are purging your raga dveshas. The ragam cha dvesham, which always keep on bothering us, that will be neutralized. When that is neutralized, raga dveshas are neutralized, and the kalmasham in the mind and buddhi, if it is nicely washed out, then you become a fit person for the jnana to take place. The jnana yoga anusthana, it is possible for you to appreciate that. That is what Bhagavan Krishna said. He did not say directly karma yoga will liberate you. No. He did not say that.
No, what my question is, like, karma yogi, whoever is doing karma with jnana, like whatever we are doing, even Arjuna, he is having that jnana, knowledge also Bhagwan is giving, and karma also he is having. So when we are in doing duties with jnana, along with jnana and karma, then why somebody should take sannyas? That is my question.
Need not. Your question is well taken. When you are doing karma yoga and you are not letting go jnana, you are holding on to jnana also, and karma yoga has made you a punita. Punita means very clean person in the mind, absolutely clean. And at that time, this jnana that you have been following, that will be very, very sanctifying to you. I understand. What you say is true. You need not take to sannyasa to become a jnani.
So
That's
why
your...
people take sannyasa?
Huh?
Why people take sannyasa? Because they can contribute through karma yoga and jnana both in that. So why somebody should take sannyasa? That is like little bit confusing.
No, that is because, see, for people like you and I, there is Vihita karma. The Shastra Vihita karma is there for all of us. For a sannyasi, that kind of a freedom is there. There is no karma at all. And all the time, he can concentrate on jnana samuparjana. Whereas you and I, while doing karma yoga, we will have to acquire jnana also. So the kind of a time division is there between karma yoga anusthana and jnana samuparjana, which is totally available to the sannyasi. That's the point. Sannyasi has no karma to be done. There's nothing. No Shastra Vihita karma for him. Did I answer you okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yajjadaha charate shreshtaha tattadevetaro janaha sahayat pramanam kurute lokaha tadanuvartate. Now, name pardhaste kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam vartayeva cha karmani. Indirectly, he is telling Arjuna, Arjuna, you are also like me. You are also a Sreshta Purusha. You are also like that King Janaka. And don't you underestimate yourself. But you are not a fit person for sannyasa. You have not got the requisite qualification for taking to sannyasa. That Bhaikshyamapi haloke shreyaha, you said no, no. And I'm telling you all these things because you have surrendered to me. Shadimam tvam prapannam, you said. Teach me, I surrender to you. And that surrender, I assume, is total. That is why I'm telling you, you are not an ordinary person. You are a super leader, and people are looking at you to follow what you want to do, and they will immediately emulate you. And don't you please displease them. Name pardhaste kartavyam trishu lokeshu kinchana nanavaptam avaptavyam vartayeva cha karmane. Now, in case I do not conduct myself in activities, what happens? What happens? Yadi hyaham navarteyam jato karmanye atandritaha mama vatma anuvartante manushyaha padha sarvashaha. Yadi, in case, yadi hyaham navarteyam, in case I don't do any action, I don't conduct myself in work. Yadi hyaham navarteyam jato karmanya tandritaha. Atandritaha. Tandritaha is what? Laziness. Atandritaha. Without being lazy. Okay. If I do not conduct myself in karmas, and this in karmas what? Always. Jato karmanya tandritaha. Mama vartma. People will follow my path. Vartma is path. Mama vartma anuvartante. People will nicely walk in the path I have walked. Manushyaha partha sarvashaha. Because I am considered to be a Sreshta Purushaha. Edda jatarti Sreshtaha tatta devetaro janaha. Like that. Like that. Janakadayaha. We are, you and I, we are Sreshta Purushas. Yadi hyaham navarteyam jato karmanye atandritaha mama vartma anuvartante manushyaha padha sarvashaha. Should I not engage in action scrupulously, atandritaha, scrupulously, without being lazy, okay? At any time, great harm will come to the world. For Arjuna, men follow my way in all matters. When people follow Krishna when he is not acting, what happens? What happens? The productivity will suffer. Simple. Productivity will suffer. And people being lazy, they will have very funny thoughts. And later on, they will keep on blaming each other. And the blaming each other will end up in quarrels. And that will be what? That will be Utsi de Yurime Lokan. That's what. That's what. The lokas will
Nana?
perish because of that. Yes.
Where is the word that says great harm will come to the world?
Huh?
In the 23rd verse,
Uh-huh.
which is the word that says great harm will come to the world?
Which is the word? Which is the word? What is that? Which is the word?
No, in the Sanskrit verse, what is the
Uh-huh.
word that says great harm will come to the world? In the translation, there is
Great harm will come to the world. That is to be understood. Which is covered in the next verse.
Okay.
Mama vartma anuvartante manushyaha padha sarvashaha. That great harm will come to the world is not essentially in the verse explicitly. But it is to be understood. And if it is not understood, Bhagavan is not saying this in the 24th verse. Utsi deyurime lokaha nakuryam karma chet aham sankarasya cha kartasyaha upahanyamima prajaha. Utsi deyu ime lokaha. Ime lokaha means these worlds. Worlds means people. Okay? Utsi deyu ime lokaha. These worlds and people will perish. will perish. Nakuryam chet aham. Nakuryam karma chet aham. If I do not conduct myself in activity, because people will always follow mama vartma anuvartante. And why mama vartma anuvartante? 1 minute. Because I am considered a Shrestha Purusha. Yadyat acharati Shreshtaha tata tata eva itaro janaha sahayat pramanam kurute lokas tadanu vartate. People say, hey, Krishna Bhagavan is not doing anything. He is simply sitting cross-legged. We will also follow him. We will also not do anything. And because of that, the lokaha utsideyuhu, they will get destroyed. Utsideyurime lokaha nakuryam karma chedaham. In case I do not do any activity, sankarasya cha kartasya, there will be tremendous confusion. Sankarasya cha kartasya upahanyamima prajaha. And I will become the cause of this confusion and of destruction of these people. If ever I cease to act, these worlds would perish. I should prove to be the cause of confusion and of destruction of these people, which is not my intention. Which is not my intention at all. My intention is what? Everybody should be happy and prosperous. Utsideyurime lokaha nakuryam karma chedaham sankarasya cha kartasyaha upahanyami ma prajaha. Actually, towards the end of the Mahabharata epic, the Yadavas, they have conformed to this. Utsideyurime lokaha. They have destroyed mutually each other. They have destroyed themselves. There was no external inimical force at all which destroyed them. Mausala Parva, there is a beautiful Parva which Bhagavan Vyasa has given towards the end of Mahabharata. In the Mausala Parva, all these people, they destroy themselves. Utsideyurime lokaha. And without any input from Bhagavan Krishna, without Bhagavan Krishna stopping activity itself, these people have destroyed themselves. Utsideyurime lokaha nakuryam karma chedaham sankarasya cha kartasyaha mupahanyaha imaha prajaha. Now the Vidwan, how should he conduct himself? How should he conduct himself? Saktaha karmani avidvamso yatha kurvanti bharata kuryat vidvam stada asaktaha chikirshur lokasangraham. Your huge sentence here in the second line. Kuryat vidvam stada asaktaha chikirshur lokasangraham. Chikirshuhu means they must have the desire to do. Chikirshuhu lokasangraham, for protecting and for the benefit, for the well-being of the world. Chikirshuhu lokasangraham. What? Kuryat will have to be done. Who? Vidwan. Vidwan is the one who is knowing. Vidwan, tadha asaktaha. Tadha asaktaha means what? Not attached. Tadha asaktaha. Kuryat vidvam tadha asaktaha. Kuryat vidvam tadha asaktaha. Chikirshur Lokasangraham. This Vidwan is a wise person. He does not say anything to unsettle the mind of the Avidwan. The first line, Saktaha. Saktaha means attached. Saktaha karmanya vidvamso. Avidvamsaha, that is a non-wise person, an otherwise person, that is the otherwise person like us, otherwise person, karmanye yatha kurvanti, like we do the activities. Saktaha, attached we do. We keep on conducting ourselves in the world, minute to minute, attached all the time to the activities that we are doing, attached to the karma phala, attached to the doership, and attached to what? The karma itself. Saktaha karmanya vidvamso yatha kurvanti bharata. Like the avidwan, the otherwise person, how he does, getting attached to the activity, like he does, getting attached to activity. On the other hand, the vidwan, kuryat, he shall do, he should do. Kuryat vidvam sada asaktaha, tadha asaktaha chikirshur lokasangraham. Arjuna, as unwise act with attachment, so should the wise man, with a view to maintain the world order, act without attachment. Why? How do you maintain the world order without attachment if you keep on acting? Because people will be more keen on your activities than on your words. Your words may be very, very pushpitam vachaha, yamimam pushpitam vachaha, maybe, but they do not really care about them. What do they care is how you are conducting yourself. Because yajyada charati sreshtaha tattate vyojaraha sayat pramanam kurute lokastadanu vartate. We have seen that, Arjuna. So this vidwan, he will do with that chikirshuhu lokasangraham. That lokasangraham is important. Chikirshuhu, he must have the spontaneous wish to keep on acting without any attachment. Kuryat vidvams tadha saktaha chikirshur lokasangraham. And that will benefit the world without doubt. And Bhagavan says in the 26th verse, Na buddhi bhedam janayet ajnanam karma sanginam joshayet sarva karmani vidvan yukta samacharan. Beautiful. Na buddhi bhedam janayet ajnanam karma sanginam. People who are stuck in karma. Stuck in karma is what? That yamimam pushpitam vacham Nanya dastiti vadinaha, kamatmanaha, swargaparaha, all those guys, all those people, swargaparaha, na anya dastiti vadinaha, all those people, those are ajnanis. Na buddhi bhedam janayet ajnanam. Those kind of ajnanas, those people, na buddhi bhedam janayet. Don't you unsettle them. Don't you unsettle them. They are not a terrorist. They are, doing something in their own way. Okay. But they would certainly turn to you and benefit from your actions and activities. To take care of that, you keep on kuryat vidvam sada asaktaha chikirshuhu lokasangraham. That is what is important. When you do that, those people though you don't intentionally unsettle their mind, na buddhi bhedam janayet ajnanam karma sanginam. Karma sanginam, they're attached to karma. Joshayet sarva karmani vidvan yukta samacharan. Joshayet sarva karmani. Beautifully you keep on doing all activities. Vidvan yuktaha samacharan. Very nicely you perform all activities, and they will be watching you, and they will benefit from you in no time. Achirena, then there will be abhivruddhi for those ajnanis. Achirena. Achirena means in no time. Ajnanam. You need, because whenever you unsettle a person's mind, what is happening is you are raising violently the defensive personality in that mind. The defensive personality will as though strengthen that ajnanam. That is why Bhagavan Krishna is saying, na buddhi bhedam janayet ajnanam karma sanginam. Because ajnanam, why this karma sanginam? Karma does not lift you. Karma does not take you to your chosen goal. Karma yoga anusthana will help you get the requisite antakarana shuddhi. And with that, the jnana prapti is achirena. That is possible. For that, you will have to undertake karma yoga anusthana. Don't simply get stuck with karma. If you get stuck with karma, ajnani, and if I say anything, hey, what you are doing is wrong, why don't you get on to this? Bhagavan Krishna has already said this. Why don't you follow what Bhagavan Krishna said? Then you will revolt. The defensive personality in you will make your ajnanam reinforced, and that is not going to be good for you. So what I ought to do? I would better not unsettle your mind. A wise man established in the self should not unsettle the mind of the ignorant attached to action, but should get them to perform all their duties, duly perform his own duties. That is, by an example, you make them as though see you. You are setting an example to them, and that example must in no time make that person see the truth of the karma yoga anusthana, and they will give up simple karma and come on to karma yoga anusthana, because that is going to be beneficial. Na buddhi bhedam janayet ajnanam karma sanginam joshayet sarva karmani vidvan yukta samacharan. This is a beautiful verse. This is a beautiful verse, and this is for all jnanis. No jnani should unsettle the mind of an ajnani. Okay, joshayet sarva karmani vidvan yukta samacharan. That is why any jnani saying, hey, what you are doing is wrong, come to me, join my ashram, and I will take care of you. That kind of a thing is wrong, totally wrong. Na buddhi bhedam janayet ajnanam karma sanginam joshayet sarva karmani vidvan yukta samacharan. Vidvan yukta samacharan. Like even how a mother, when the toddler is about to make the baby steps, how the mother trains the toddler to get up from the fall and make another step forward, etc. That kind of a thing, this Vidwan will have to do. Will have to, with love, take care of the ajnani. Na buddhi bhedam janayet Ajnanam karma sanginam. Doshayet sarva karmani vidvan yuktaha samacharan. Right? Right. Brahmara, you have already mentioned regarding tomorrow, no?
Tomorrow, yeah, in the Manana group, I've mentioned only a few people were there. Maybe we can mention now in the whole group.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shall I mention or would you?
Huh? You mentioned already, no?
In the Manana group, only a few people were there, Nana. Not
Oh.
everybody. is
Oh, okay.
there.
I'll mention now.
Yeah.
Hari Om, everybody. Tomorrow, I am likely to have some small medical appointment. So because of that, I am not sure whether I can be back to my seat in time. So we will not have the Gita class tomorrow. Pardon my missing all of you tomorrow. Okay, day after the same time we will get back.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but we
Thank you.
decided to meet at the same time tomorrow to do Manana of the Atma Bodh. We'll continue with
Okay.
that at the same time.
Okay, you do that. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Hari Om, Nana.
Hari Om, everybody.
Hari Om,
Hari
Nana.
Om,
Best
Nana.
of luck
Hari
for
Om,
your
Nana.
appointment.
Thank
Bye bye.
you.